You know that feeling? That distinct mental weight? Your mind's racing. Maybe there's the tightness in your chest, and you're just wondering, how do I even start? How do I begin when I feel completely drained already? It's that feeling, isn't it? Where life just seems too heavy to hold.
Yeah, that's a really common experience. If you felt that, you're definitely not alone.
Right.
And it's more than just being tired, I think. It's this deeper sense of being overwhelmed. Sometimes not just by your own stuff, but by burdens that, well, maybe they don't even really belong to you.
Oh, that's interesting. Burdens that aren't really yours.
Yeah, and this deep dive is really about looking at that feeling, recognizing it and figuring out how to navigate it.
Okay, so navigating that overwhelm,
Yeah.
especially the bits that aren't ours. How are we going to approach that? Where are we drawing from today?
So today we're digging into some key insights from the Abundance Blueprint podcast with Naomi Specifically, there's a Mindful Monday segment she did titled When Life Feels Too Heavy to Hold. Really apt.
Okay, great source. And our mission here. What are we trying to pull out for everyone listening?
Well, the goal is really to extract the actionable wisdom, the stuff you can actually use to help transform those feelings of burden, of heaviness into, well, a genuine sense of abundance and really importantly, mental peace.
Mental peace. That's key. Okay, abundance. It's a word we hear a lot. How does this source define it? Because usually my mind goes straight to money.
Right. That's the common trap. But what's really striking here is how Naomi redefines it. It's explicitly not just the number in your bank account. Instead, she says it's, and I'm quoting loosely here, how you feel when you wake up, how you move through your day, and what you give yourself permission to release. That last part is huge.
Okay, what you give yourself permission to release, that really broadens things out, doesn't it? It takes it away from just the financial.
Completely. It shifts it to an internal state almost, a feeling of having enough, being enough within yourself.
So, if it's this internal feeling, this state, how do we actually start to, I don't know, engineer that? Especially when we're feeling swamped.
Yeah, engineer is a good word. It implies it's an active process, right? A conscious choice in how you shape your day-to-day experience. And if abundance involves what you release, then it's about cultivating maybe like an internal alignment, figuring out what's truly yours to carry.
Right, an internal alignment. I like that. And you mentioned actionable insights. This isn't just theory floating around.
No, not at all. The source gets really practical. It starts with something incredibly fundamental, breathing.
Breathing. Okay. Sounds simple.
Yes.
Almost. Too simple.
Maybe. But think about it. She suggests pausing wherever you are, taking a deep breath in for 4 counts, hold it, and then, importantly, exhale for 6 counts, longer exhale.
In for 4, out for 6. Okay. Why that specific pattern? What does the source say that does?
It's actually physiological. The source explains that this pattern, especially the longer exhale, it sends a direct signal to your body. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, it tells your brain, hey, it's safe. You can relax now.
Ah, okay. So you're flipping a switch biologically.
Exactly. It's a conscious way to downregulate your stress response. And when you do that, the source suggests those worries, those deadlines, that weight, it can physically soften. It helps you release it. It brings you back to the present enough to just take the next step instead of being paralyzed by everything at once.
So it's a measurable change helping us let go.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And this isn't just abstract, right? I think the source mentioned a story, someone named Renee.
Yes, Renee. Her story really brings this idea of intentional shifts to life. It apparently struck Naomi at a time when she was feeling overwhelmed, like she was, quote, hitting a wall and drowning in things that weren't even mine.
Okay, so what was Renee doing?
Well, Renee was a single mom, baking cakes to make ends meet. No business plan, no safety net, just, flour, sugar, and sheer determination.
Wow, okay.
And what caught Naomi's attention, what stopped her in her tracks, was Renee's really simple daily ritual. Every single morning, before she even turned on the oven, Renee would speak peace into her space. Just out loud.
What did she say?
Just 2 sentences. I have enough for today, and today is taking me closer to the life I'm building.
That's it. I have enough for today, and today is taking me closer to the life I'm building. No 5-hour routine, no complicated vision board.
Nope. Just that. Those 2 simple sentences, spoken with intention every morning.
And what happened? Did it work?
Apparently, it shifted everything for her. The source says 3 months later, she had enough baking orders to quit her other job. And it wasn't magic, It wasn't that all her problems vanished. But the point the source makes is that she slowed down. She created that pause, that ritual, And it allowed her to actually see the opportunities that were already there, maybe opportunities she was just stepping over before because she was so rushed and stressed.
So she was actively, what was the word used earlier? Blueprinting.
Exactly. Blueprinting her day, consciously setting the foundation, laying down the tracks for opportunity to find her.
That really makes you think, doesn't it? What could shift for you listening right now if you had just one simple daily ritual like that? Something to ground you.
Mm-hmm. It highlights that this mindful moment, this consistent pause, it isn't just about like managing stress. It's about intentional, energetic alignment, directing your focus.
Okay.
It's a really powerful act of self-direction. And the source offers a related affirmation to help internalize this. I release what's not mine to carry, and I open my hands to what's meant for me.
I release what's not mine to carry, and I open my hands to what's meant for me. Imagine really believing that, saying it every morning.
Right. Before the phone, before the coffee, just 60 seconds.
Yeah, and there's homework too, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something practical from the source.
There is, really practical. Tonight, the suggestion is write down 3 things you feel like you're carrying that aren't actually yours. Could be guilt someone else projected, maybe deadlines you never really agreed to, other people's anxieties. You know the stuff.
Right. Identify them, and then
physically cross them off the list.
Okay.
Symbolic release.
okay, and then
Then write down 3 things you do want to carry this week. Things you want to make space for. Maybe it's peace, maybe clarity, maybe opportunity.
so you identify, you release, and you invite in.
Exactly. It's that act of conscious identification and release. It ties real back to that idea of abundance being something you blueprint, not something you just chase after. Because you're consciously choosing where to put your energy. You're setting boundaries, even with yourself.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. We've dived into this Mindful Mondays segment. What's the core message for you listening?
I think the big takeaway is that feeling of abundance, that sense of peace, it isn't necessarily something external you have to go out and find or earn in the traditional sense.
Right. It's something you build, you blueprint.
Precisely. It starts with slowing down, taking those conscious breaths we talked about, and doing that work of identifying what burdens are truly mine and what have I just picked up along the way.
Yeah, what belongs to me versus what belongs to someone else, or maybe just to, general societal pressure.
It's that continuous conscious act of creating your internal state.
So the closing advice from the source really sums it up.
It does. Breathe deep, journal often, and keep building. It's simple, but it's a call to consistent mindful action. Action that empowers you to actually shape your own experience of abundance, create that internal feeling of enough.
Okay. So as we wrap up, here's something to maybe chew on, a final thought. We heard about Renee, right? Her simple 2-sentence ritual before baking, and how that seemed to transform her ability to blueprint abundance, at least in her work and maybe her mental state.
Yeah, a small shift with a big impact.
So the question for you is, if one simple, consistent ritual, one mindful moment applied regularly, can reveal overlooked opportunities or shift the feeling in one area, what other parts of your life might be waiting for that same kind of transformation? Where else could applying just one mindful pause, one small ritual, reveal something you've been stepping over?
That's a powerful question to sit with. Where else could that blueprinting apply?